welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a video all about how to grow your hair super long and strong. I'm super excited to film this video for you guys. It's one of those videos that when I started my YouTube channel, I knew I always wanted to film. So I have so much information. I literally have notes here that I'm going to go through. I'm going to be going through super easy steps that you can integrate into your routine literally right now to make your hair healthier and to prevent damage. And then also some hair care tips, some diet tips, and yeah. So let's just get into it. Disclaimer, I feel like I should say a disclaimer before this video. I am in no way a hair care professional. I literally am just a 20-something-year-old just doing her. But first things first, I feel like I should show you the length of my hair. This is the longest it's ever been. Maybe I should zoom you guys out so you guys can fully see my hair, but this is the length of my hair. It's nice and straight today. I wanted to straighten it for this video so then you guys could like really see the length. My hair is naturally curly and I will be talking a little bit about that in today's video just because knowing your hair type, your hair texture is huge for knowing how to care for it. So we're gonna get all into that today. So let's start off with the easiest things that you can do right now to stimulate hair growth, okay? First things first, head massages. Everybody loves them, why not do them, okay? But they're so good for stimulating hair growth. Literally, as you're watching this video, give yourself a little hair massage. It is like the easiest thing that you can do for your hair, in my opinion. The reason why it's so good to give yourself hair massages, or head massages, I should say, is because it stimulates hair growth. So when you're massaging your head, what's happening is you're stimulating that hair follicle because you're promoting blood flow to the scalp. So by doing that, it's going to stimulate that hair growth, it's going to stimulate some oil production, and all of that is really, really good for your hair. And this brings me into my next tip. You don't need to wash your hair every day. And I know there's going to be people on this that are like, I need to, my hair is oily. Pick a time, whether it's a weekend or sometime where you don't need to go out. It's okay if your hair gets a little bit oily because letting your hair get oily is very, very good for it, okay? Your hair is almost like your skin in a way. So if you're constantly stripping your hair of its natural moisture, your hair is going to produce more oil to compensate. It's just like your face, you know, even if you have oily skin, you should always be moisturizing. And if you don't moisturize, your skin is going to start to produce more oil than it normally would because it knows it's dehydrated and it knows it needs that moisture. Not only that, but the oil that is produced is good for it. It's keratin. It has amazing proteins and nutrients that are amazing for your hair. Let your hair get oily and brush the oil through your hair. Literally, when it's oily, brush your hair, okay? Distribute all that oil down, okay? I know it might sound disgusting, but it's honestly so good for your hair. The best I can normally do is like 4 days without washing my hair, and then I have to. But even just skipping a day, like washing your hair every other day, it really, really helps. My next tip is to brush your hair correctly. And you're probably like, how can I brush my hair wrong, right? Everybody normally brushes their hair top to bottom. That's how I was taught. That's how I always did it up until probably like 10 years ago. But it's so wrong. I don't know why we're taught to brush our hair that way because it literally causes so much breakage. So when you think about it, brushing your hair from the top to the bottom, what's happening is you're gathering all of those tangles throughout your hair, right? And that's why normally you'll be brushing your ends for like 10 minutes to try and get all the tangles out. When in reality, if you brush your hair from bottom to top, what's gonna happen is you're gonna get rid of all of those tangles that are there. And then when you go through a tangle that's up here, it's able to go through smooth hair and it's able to untangle rather than getting bunched up. And honestly, what this does is it just prevents damage. I think what a lot of people don't talk about in these videos is like, it's obviously fun to, you know, try like the hair, like growth hacks and, you know, rice water and stuff like that, which we'll get into in this video. But the best thing that you can do is to prevent breakage because that's what's really going to allow you to maintain the growth. So yeah, brushing your hair correctly is huge. My next tip is to brush your hair before going into the shower, or at least when I'm washing my hair. I'll always brush it before I'm going in the shower so then it's detangled. So then it's not going to get as much breakage as it normally would. And because my hair is curly, I do detangle in the shower, and I know you're probably like, wait, you're not supposed to brush your hair when it's wet. You're not. And the reason for that is when your hair is wet, it is at its weakest point. The hair follicle kind of swells a bit in the water and your hair is able to stretch more than it normally would when it's wet. So what happens is it normally will stretch past its breaking point and then that's what happens. It'll break off or cause breakage. So that is why whenever I'm going to wash my hair, I'll always brush it before I'm going in the shower. So it's kind of like pre-detangled. And then when I do detangle in the shower, what I'll always do is I always detangle with a conditioner in. I never detangle my hair without conditioner in it. That is like, no, don't do that. If you are going to detangle your hair in the shower, use a conditioner, whether it's a deep conditioner, your everyday conditioner, or whatever. Put something in your hair to moisturize it and to let the kind of brush like go through. The next thing I want to mention is I'm not using a regular brush in the shower. So whenever my hair is wet or if I'm detangling in the shower, I'm always using a wide tooth comb. My normal everyday brush is like, I normally use like those wet brushes, but when you're in the shower, invest in a wide tooth comb. It's so much better for your hair than using a normal everyday brush. The next tip I have for you guys is to invest in a silk pillowcase. It is like one of the easiest things to do, and it's one of those things that just like you don't even need to think about. Like you just go to bed and your hair is protected, and it's not only good for your hair, but it's also good for your skin, for preventing wrinkles, and like there's a lot of benefits from them. They also stay nice and cool, like they're great. So get a satin or a silk pillowcase. I got mine off Amazon, I believe. I know I literally just purchased silk pillowcases for my parents for Christmas, but I got those off Amazon and I will link them down below. They were 20 bucks for like 2 of them. It was great. I think they were actually cheaper because I ended up actually getting like the king version, so I think they were actually like $14 or $15. But yeah, it's so good for your hair because if you're like me, I toss and turn in my sleep all of the time. And what's happening is when you have a cotton pillowcase in your hair, there's so much friction happening. And because of that friction, there's a lot of damage occurring. And you may not even realize it, but it is happening. So invest in a silk pillowcase. What is on my lip? It's like a hair or something. Invest in a silk pillowcase because it's literally the best thing ever. And if you have curly hair or frizzy hair, like I will never forget when I first started using a silk pillowcase, which again was probably like 5 years ago at least, I would say. I saw such a difference in the amount of frizz that I would wake up with, like almost virtually none. So they're amazing. They're so, so, so good. Okay, my next tip is to do protective styles. So I'm not going to get into the a million protective styles that you can do. There are so many videos here on YouTube, but braids, buns when your ends are tucked in are really, really good. Like a twist, something like that. Anything that's like protecting your hair is super, super good. So sleeping in protective styles is another huge tip because again, there is a lot of breakage that happens when you're sleeping. So when you put your hair in a braid, it's gonna protect it. On top of that silk pillowcase, girl, like literally breakage who? Who? Not you. Not you, okay? The other thing that I invested in, and I should have invested in so long ago, was a silk satin bonnet. It has silk on the inside, silk on the outside. Again, I'll link it down below. I got it off Amazon. I got like a pack of like 5. Obviously, especially if you have curly hair, that's more so who I'm kind of recommending it to. I just thought I would grab my bonnet just to show you guys. So it's like silk on the outside, silk on the inside. We love her. But yeah, or even like the pineapple, it's called, when you literally just like put your hair up here, just so then it's not kind of like down and getting like tangled up in your sheets and, you know, just when you're tossing and turning and everything. I also have videos on my channel of heatless hairstyles that are protective but also will make you wake up with beautiful curls. So I'll have that video up. Either it'll pop up on this side or whatever side, I don't know which way, but it will pop up if you want to watch that video after this. The next tip I have is to wear proper hair ties. So this is what I mean by a proper hair tie, okay? Do not put anything in your hair that has those stupid like metal things. Do not. They literally tangle up your hair so easily. In my opinion, in my experience, every single time I take my hair out of an elastic like that, I will have hair attached to those little metal thingamabobbers like that keep it together. I don't even know. Get hair ties like these, or get like the I used to have them and I lost like literally all of them, but those ones that like don't crease. I'll have them in the link down below, but they're like kind of spirally. I'll put a picture up if you guys know what I'm talking about. But hair ties like these, hair ties like those, you know those ribbon hair ties that were like they were super, super in a few years ago. And scrunchies, which are so in style right now. And you can get silk scrunchies. Like I have these ones that are kind of like a velvety like a nice velvety texture, which I love, and they're super soft on the hair. So we love those. Really just anything that's not gonna like seriously tug at your hair is super good. And again, another thing that I should add is even if you are wearing ponytails or buns and stuff like that, don't be putting your hair up in like styles that are like, I love a good sleek hairstyle, don't get me wrong, but don't be doing it every day, because that's when you're really gonna see like a lot of breakage around the frame of your face. By pulling your hair constantly and constantly having it in like super tight hairstyles, you will experience damage inevitably. Okay, so those were all the notes that I have down for like the easiest things that you can integrate in your routine. So now we're gonna get into some more hair care stuff. Oil treatments. These were probably like the first kind of thing I got into when I was really trying to grow my hair. There's so many videos on YouTube. I have a DIY oil hair mask on my channel that I'm gonna link here, and they're like the best and easiest thing to do. You probably already have the ingredients in your house to do them, and they leave your hair, in my opinion and honestly in my experience, more shiny, more soft than the average hair mask that I buy like at the drugstore, honestly speaking. Oil treatments are the best in my opinion, okay? So you can use, literally there's so many different oils that you can use. I've used olive oil before, I've used coconut, castor oil, avocado oil. Personally, my favorite is the combination of coconut and avocado oil. Bliss. Oh my gosh, my hair literally loves it. And I have a more in-depth video on my channel about this, so I'm not gonna go super into depth about how exactly I do my oil treatments. If you don't want to watch my video about it, there's a million out there. But what's amazing about them is that when you're putting the oil in your hair, again, you're gonna get your nice little head massage, you're gonna stimulate some growth, and it's gonna be like bliss for your head top, okay? Now, I don't know if I said this in my original oil treatment video, but normally when I do an oil treatment, I will shampoo my hair twice just to make sure that I get all of that oil out. And if you have like very fine hair, I do really recommend washing your hair or shampooing it twice just to make sure that you're like getting all of the oil out of your hair, because you will get out of the shower and it will look oily if you don't clean it all out. So just a fair warning. So I do recommend doing an oil treatment at least like 1 to 2 times a month, depending on your hair and how damaged it is. If your hair is super damaged, I'd say once a week would be like a great thing to start off as, and see how your hair kind of takes to it and just kind of see what results you get. If your hair looks shiny, or if you're like, oh, I kind of want to try a different oil. It's a lot of trial and error, which is frustrating, but trust me, when you find the oil or the things that work for your hair, it's going to be so worth it in the end, honestly. The other hair mask I normally use is this one by Shea Moisture that I really like. I've used this one and their black castor oil one. I also really love that. I really love Shea Moisture just in general. In my next tip, I'm going to get into why I really like this brand. And I'll normally do this like once a week. I'll probably do it tonight when I wash my hair just because I've straightened it. That's another thing. When you're using heat on your hair, or if you're dyeing your hair, whatever, condition it a lot. If I know that I'm straightening my hair, I will normally deep condition in the shower before I straighten it. And then again, just as I said, because I'm gonna wash my hair tonight, I'm gonna probably deep condition it again. Just because I know with my hair being curly that straightening it is obviously not the best thing for it. Probably one of the worst things I can do to it. So that's why I will always deep condition after straightening it. Just because I know my hair needs the moisture, so I'm gonna give it to it. So my next tip is investing in a shampoo and a conditioner that is sulfate free, paraben free, all of that shit free. And that's why I really love Shea Moisture. Their stuff has no sulfates, no parabens, no phthalates. I don't even know how you say that. No mineral oil, no animal testing. I don't know how you say literally all of that stuff, but it's free from a lot of it. But investing in a proper shampoo and conditioner is really important. I wish I could show you guys my actual shampoo and conditioner that I use by Shea Moisture, but it's sadly in my apartment. Yeah, that's why I love Shea Moisture. All of those things are really not good for your hair. And the sad thing is a lot of shampoo and conditioner have all of those ingredients. So do your research and find a shampoo that's free of it. Shea Moisture is a great company. Maui's a great company. But again, I always like to just look at the ingredient bottle and just kind of see what I'm looking at and see if it's like, oh, is that good? Is that bad? But yeah, the next thing that nobody ever seems to talk about in these YouTube videos is the fact that product buildup and dandruff and things like that can really impede your hair growth, because, you know, your hair follicle is here, you know, trying to like emerge. Well, it already has emerged, I guess. And when you have like product buildup and stuff, it's really gonna slow down your hair growth. So for me, because I have curly hair, I do have a clarifying shampoo that I use like once a week. And that is because I put a lot of oil, leave-in conditioner, stuff like that, some like curl cream in my hair. So it's important for me to make sure that every once in a while, I'm really making sure that my scalp is nice and clean. So if you don't have a clarifying shampoo, I do recommend you getting one. Clarifying shampoo is super important. I mean, like in the curly hair world, they're like a staple, but in the rest of the world, I feel like nobody ever really talks about clarifying shampoo and how important it is. So go buy yourself a little clarifying shampoo. This one is the apple cider vinegar one, or no, it just says apple cider. And it's so funny because the reason why I first got a clarifying shampoo was actually my hairdresser. Shout out to her, she's watching this. I've been going to her for, I genuinely don't even know how long, like 15 years maybe. She's an icon, clearly. And I remember I went to her one time and I was like, I don't know what's going on. My hair is like, I'll get out of the shower and like right here was like my problem area, and it was like super oily. This isn't really a good time to show you because my hair literally is oily. And I was like, hey, what is going on? And she was like, yeah, it's just product buildup. So while I was there, she was like, yes, go get this shampoo. And ever since, I've never really had that problem. So we love. Okay, so my next tip for hair care, which is gonna be controversial, is to get haircuts. I know you're probably like, I'm literally clicking on this video to grow my hair and you're telling me to get a haircut. Not what I want to hear right now. I know, but haircuts are essential. In my opinion, there's two types of people. There's a person who wants to grow their hair long, but refuses to get the haircut. And there's the person that wants to grow their hair long and healthy. Be this person, okay? But I used to be that person that was like, I'm not getting a haircut. I don't want to get a haircut. I want to grow my hair. No. If you truly want to grow your hair healthy and long, get a haircut. Here's the thing. On average, per month, your hair is gonna grow about ½ an inch. That's like on average. Some people a little bit more, some people a little bit less. But the issue is when you have split ends already, split ends don't just happen and stay there. Split ends continue to split up your hair, and it will continue to split up your hair until it either breaks off or is cut off. Preferably it's cut off, so then it's like gone for good. So that is why it's super essential to cut your hair, because if you don't cut those dead ends off, they're gonna continue and you won't get rid of them. And I know there's a million videos out there that are like mend your split ends, this and that. You can't, like physically, you can get products that will kind of encase it and kind of protect your hair, but at the end of the day, you're gonna need a haircut, period. So I know that might be a hard pill to swallow, but it is the best thing for you. And the best thing about getting a haircut is then you can maintain the length. Because people always like to be like, I don't need to get my hair cut. My hair's still gonna grow. Yes, that is facts. Your hair will still grow because your hair grows at its root. But at the end of the day, your hair can continue to grow and grow and grow. And this is where people will like be like, my hair is just not growing. And the reason for that is because your hair is still growing. It's just your ends are continuously breaking off because you still have split ends. So you're not able to actually maintain the length. So that is why haircuts are essential. They maintain your length, they make your hair healthy in the easiest way possible. So a lot of people will do like a big chop or something like that and get rid of all of their damage. And I honestly do recommend that. I mean, that is honestly what I did when I really was like, you know what, I want to cut my hair short and I kind of want to grow it. I literally cut it to like here. I loved it, it was fun. And the amazing thing was my hair grew like a literal weed. It did, and it was because I didn't have split ends. My hair was so healthy at that point, and it could just grow. And at that point, I wasn't so focused on, like, saving my hair. I was able to be like, okay, now I just need to keep it like this. And the amazing thing is, it was super easy at that point. So, yes, I say if you really want to grow your hair, do a big chop, cut off all of your dead ends, and then go for a haircut every I guess like every 2 months, every 2 to 3 months. And that's kind of what I was doing. And I know it's hard because sometimes you're like, ugh, like I don't want to continue to cut my hair, but you do, because preventing split ends does entail you cutting them off. So enough chat about haircuts. The next tip is to obviously reduce your heat damage. I mean, at the end of the day, people are gonna do what they want to do. If you want to straighten your hair, straighten your hair. I mean, I wanted to straighten my hair and I straightened it. But that's why I said, like, do a deep conditioning mask if you know you want to straighten your hair. Make sure you're doing one after. You know, make sure like you're adding that moisture back in. And if you're gonna damage it, make sure you're also gonna like care for it, you know? Obviously, again, what goes hand in hand with that is less dyeing or coloring your hair. Personally, this was like one of the best things I did, because when I started growing my hair, at least when I really wanted my hair to be healthy, was back in like first year, and I was blonde. This is my natural hair color, and from about like this is like previously dyed but hasn't been dyed in like 2 years. But nonetheless, I was blonde at one point. I had like a balayage ombre and it was not a good look for the kid. I mean, a lot of people liked it, but personally I never felt like a blonde. And the curly hair and the immense amount of bleach that went through my hair was not a mix. It was atrocious in my opinion. So around March time, cut my hair and I loved it and it was fun. And then after that, I knew at that point, I was like, you know what? I don't even like my blonde hair. I wanted to go dark for a really, really long time and back to my natural color. So I had cut it short and then I ended up actually dyeing it dark. And at this point, I ended up actually doing like a richer brown than I wanted to. So it wasn't really something that I was going to fade my hair into. It was kind of like last hurrah. It was kind of like, okay, this is one of the last times I'm gonna dye my hair. Let's kind of do what I've always wanted to do. But yeah, so I dyed my hair dark, and even just not bleaching it was like just so much better for it. Like bleach is really damaging for your hair. And if I was to ever go back blonde or go lighter, what I would do differently is to not go lighter every single time I went to the salon. Like every single time I was dyeing my hair, I swear I was like, oh, I want a little bit lighter. I wanted a little bit lighter, and I was continuously bleaching my ends. Like, no, don't do that. But yeah, what I ended up doing was then in January of 2019, I went to my hairstylist again. I kind of was like, okay, I want to grow out my hair. Kind of done with coloring it as of right now. And she matched my hair, and this is what we're left with. In my opinion, she did an absolutely stellar job, because you literally could not tell whatsoever that I have dyed hair mixed into this a bit. And now at this point, my hair is about, all of this is like new growth, I guess you could say, from that point. And then honestly, at that point when I stopped coloring it, it was like my hair just maintained its health so much more. And at that point, now that I was like able to just grow my hair and then just get trims, it was just so much easier to just keep it healthy and to just let it grow. So if you have been itching to kind of go back to your natural color, maybe this is a sign. I don't know, come back to the dark side or whatever side you're on. But there are ways, if you do want to use heat, to kind of reduce that damage. If you have a hair straightener that you're able to control the heat on, put it on the lowest heat setting or a lower heat setting that you normally would do, blow drying your hair straight rather than straightening it if that's an option for you, and stuff like that. Again, on my channel, I have heatless hairstyles. There's so many heatless hairstyles out there. But yeah, heatless hairstyles is another way to kind of combat it if you're kind of like, ugh, I hate my hair though, what am I gonna do? I'm not just gonna like let it be. Heatless hairstyles are so good. Okay, I think those are all my tips for hair care. Hopefully I didn't forget anything. But now I'm gonna go into some diet tips. So obviously the first one is water. Drinking a lot of water is just good for you in general, and it's good for your hair, it's good for your body. Putting good things into your body and fueling your body is very important. And if you want your hair to grow healthy, it's important to be eating healthy foods and to be fueling your body and to be giving it its nutrients every day. Your hair is made up of keratin. That is the protein in your hair. You've probably seen the word keratin on a shampoo bottle or something before. That is what it is. It's actually the protein that's in your hair. So one of the best things that you can really focus on eating every day is eating enough protein. I started doing is having eggs in the morning. That's like a great omega-3 protein. Eggs, meat, fish, You could even do fish oil. I don't necessarily think that's a protein, but it is very good for you. But protein is huge because your hair is protein. So if you're eating a good amount of protein, it's gonna help your hair grow. And again, balanced diet, eating enough fruits and vegetables, greens are huge, spinach, stuff like that. Very, very good for you. I actually have my mom, I'm gonna give the credit to my mom. In my opinion, like the easiest way that you can eat your greens is through a smoothie. I have spinach smoothies and they don't taste like spinach. If you guys want me to do a video on the smoothies that I do, I will definitely do that. The next thing I want to talk about is biotin. So I'm going to put a picture on the screen of the biotin I used to have. I did take biotin. Now on the biotin that I got, it said to only take it for a month, and I think it had like 30 to 45 tablets in it. So I normally would either take it for the full month or like 40, like all 45. Obviously do your research and consult your doctor before doing this stuff, but I took biotin. You know what, I honestly don't even know when I started exactly using biotin, but I'm gonna have like the amount of biotin that I was actually taking. I think I had like 5,000 mcgs or something. 5,000 or 10,000 I was taking, and honestly, in my opinion, I did see a difference in my hair. I did find it to grow faster than it normally would. When I was taking biotin, I would take it for a month and I would not take it for at least like 2 months. And the reason why I did this was just so then my body didn't like get used to it and like it not to work, if that makes sense. I don't even know if that's like even something that could happen, but in my opinion, I just think it's best to like space them out just so then your body gets a little bit of a break, and as well just because on the package it did say just use it for a month, so that's kind of like why. I know there's like a bunch of different hair pills you can get on the market, but personally I just bought biotin and I did find a difference in my hair. But yeah, I don't necessarily think it's a necessity, but I definitely do think it does help. So the last part of this video is gonna be some hair growth hacks. I'm not gonna go super into detail about these because there is, again, a million videos on YouTube that you can literally click on and they'll have a whole video dedicated to this stuff. But I kind of just wanted to mention these things and you guys can kind of research them more if you wanted to. So the first thing is a rice water rinse. A lot of people find their hair to be softer and smoother after doing this, and pretty much what it is you take the rice and you rinse it a couple times, and then you fill like a little bowl of that rice with some water, and the water will begin to be milky, and you're gonna then use that water and transport it into like a little spray bottle, and then when you're in the shower you're gonna give yourself a little bit of a rinse with that water. Lots of people have found it to help, and I just wanted to mention it as like a little tip if you guys wanted to research it further, because these were things that I came across when I was first getting into like the whole hair care thing like 10 years ago. The next thing is the inversion method, and this is something that I find nobody really talks about. Again, please do your research before doing the inversion method because there are certain people who shouldn't do it, like pregnant people and stuff like that. So the inversion method is kind of literally what it sounds like. It involves you inverting yourself, and it's pretty much just once a day or once a week or however often you want to do it. I don't recommend that you do it more than once a day just because it involves you going upside down, but it literally just involves you like laying off the side of your bed or maybe even sitting cross-legged and just putting your head down, and you just give yourself a head massage upside down. The reason why people swear by this is because when you're doing that head massage, you're already stimulating blood flow, and then by being inverted, all of that blood is then gonna rush to your head, so it's gonna like almost like stimulate it extra. You know, that was another thing that I found and I did for a while. And what I would do personally is I would do the inversion method when I was doing an oil treatment. So like after I'd put the oil treatment in my hair and I'd massage it a bit, I would go sit off the side of my bed, do a little head massage for like 5 minutes, no more than 5 minutes, just because you shouldn't really be upside down for that long. And yeah, and then I would just kind of sit with my hair in that mask for like 30 minutes to like 2 hours. You can even sleep with oil masks in if you want. But yeah, that is another tip. tip. Okay, you guys, I think that is it. That is all the tips that I have for you guys today. I really hope I didn't miss anything. If you guys have any questions about anything mentioned, please comment them down below. And obviously do your research before doing a lot of this stuff, again, like the inversion method, just because there are some risks to it. Again, like I said, pregnant people, for example. If I have any tips or anything that I forgot, I will definitely put it down in the description. Just take a look at that if you want to. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and comment down below. And subscribe to my channel if you like this video and want to see more of me. Thank you so much for watching, and best of luck for your hair growth. I hope that I said something in this video that is worthwhile to you. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video.